Hey, hi, hello guys, it's Junibug and I'm auditioning
It's like the brand.
for High School Musical 4.
Oh, hey.
Hey, hi, hello guys, it's Junibug and today I am here with a story time because you guys wanted to hear some sort of story time or rant type video, so here is what I have. I'm going to tell you the time that I auditioned for High School Musical 4. Okay, so let's just get right into it. The night before I went to the audition, I went to prom, which was so much fun, by the way. Oh my gosh, prom. The only reason I'm telling you this is because I had my nails done and I had my makeup done like already, and I slept in my makeup and then woke up and I was like, yes, High School Musical 4 audition, I am ready. So the preparation for this audition was just printing out this little thing with a couple paragraphs that we would have to read back to them whilst auditioning. So that wasn't very hard. I memorized it on the way over, but you know, I still held my paper because comfort.
Which one of these says, today is the start of something new? Yet again. So, soccer, you gonna help me get my head in the game?
The auditions took place at the Anaheim Convention Center, which is also where VidCon is, so if you know what that is. A bunch of conventions happen there, so I mean, you'll probably know what I'm talking about. When I get there, we have to weave through some things. We go through a metal detector, and then you just see all of these people. There are so many people, like so many lines, and it's great. Also, this is my first audition ever. So as I'm walking in over to the line, I am hearing like High School Musical songs, and I'm like, oh my gosh, people are singing. I'm so excited. It was this group of people all together and they were all singing, so I ran over there as fast as I could. I was like, Mom, I have to go to my people, okay? My mom is a trooper. I don't know how she puts up with me. I'm insane. She stood in line the whole entire time that I was in this group way over there. She's amazing. I love you, Mom. I start chiming in and I start singing along, and already it's just like, together, 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 everyone. Everyone's smiling and laughing and dancing, and there's like a little circle.
If you're gonna stay. Hey. I just gotta know.
Oh, I can't explain it. The feeling is just perfect. But there was one person that I saw, and he was playing his guitar, and I was like, oh my gosh, who is this? This person happened to be Lorde Jr., and he was on American Idol, actually the last season of American Idol, and he made it to the finals.
Oh, and I see fire inside the mountain.
When I saw him, I was like, wow, this guy is so talented. But I had no idea he was on American Idol because I don't have TV. A little bit later, everything started dying down. We started talking instead of singing, and Lorde said I looked familiar and like, what was my name? And so I told him I'm Sequoia. I mean, I haven't really, I'm just me, you know? I haven't been on any TV shows or anything. Here are some Snapchats from those beautiful moments that I just adore with all of my heart.
What it means to you, my love, and we were all young. 1,000 years, I love you for 1,000 more. All along, I believe. But it seems I did you wrong. I'll stay all time together. Raise a glass of wine for the last time. Calling out, Father of
Calling you my lover. Move on. You watch me bleed until I can't breathe. Shaking, falling onto my knees. And now.
A little bit later, after we sat down, they started calling groups in finally. It had been like a couple hours, so people were gradually leaving, you know, the little group, and it was getting really small until it was just like a handful of people. I started talking to Lorde, and I got to figure out where he was from, all these different things about him. Oh my gosh, let me tell you this one moment that was just, he was like, okay, let me guess like your favorite song, or like your song, if that makes any sense. Like, he was just gonna look at me and then play a song based off of what he saw. And I was like, sure, okay. He played one of my childhood favorite songs. It's called Coffee Shop by When he started playing it, of course, I was shocked, and I was like, wow, I don't know how we got that from that, and that was like from my childhood, and it gave me all the feels. So again, I was like, After that, we decided we should probably get in line because it was moving. And at first I was like, oh no, I'm at like the very back of the line. This is not gonna be good. I don't want to leave Lorde. I just met him. I'm just talking to him. We clicked instantly, if you ask me, and it was so much fun. So not only was I with him, but you know, in the little group that we still had, there were like these 2 other girls or 1 other girl. You know when you just don't click with people? I just didn't click with these other girls. Of course, I'm not gonna be mean to them, but you know, I wasn't gonna be like, oh my god, yeah. You know what I mean? Anyways, they were up farther than me in line, like way farther, and Lorde seemed like he was like going with them because he was talking to them. But I was like, hey, I should totally go that way, and I knew how I was gonna do it. This seems like a weird plan. I didn't have a plan, guys. I really didn't. So Lorde actually introduced his mother to us and to me. So I knew who she was, and I was talking to her as well. So when he was moving up in line with the other girls, I kind of grabbed his stuff to help his mom because he had like his guitar and some food. So I was like, why not help? And then I would be able to go up with them too. And I just wouldn't, I guess, feel as bad for crowding people because I did feel a little bad, but like Lorde. So, and then I told my mother to like, come over here. Mission accomplished. I got up there. It was all good. We also talked about if we were the new Troy and Gabriella, and I also read my audition out to him because he wanted me to read it. Basically, this is everyone else, all the rows, right? Then I stood up and came out here where there was like nobody, if that makes any sense. Like there weren't lines over there, so it was really open. I got up and I did my whole spiel, and everyone was like staring at me. That was in the line, so I was like, okay. Lasagna? Lorde said that I was like everything that Disney portrays in a person, basically. I think that's what he said. Oh, you're everything Disney wants, or you're everything that Disney is. Something like that. And it was like the sweetest compliment ever. Then it was time for us to go to the next place. If you know the Anaheim Convention Center, there's a bunch of escalators and different floors, so we went up to the 2nd floor, and then we were in this really big room that had a bunch of chairs, and there's like an announcer. We all had to go up and like hand him our portfolio and like all of our stuff and like get checked in basically, and that's when we got our number. Lorde had a soccer ball because he plays soccer. What? He was kicking that around, and so I got up and I started playing with him. Then we got called and went into another room. Surprise, surprise. In this room there were more chairs, but it was a little bit smaller, and there was somebody up on the stage. When we went to sit down, it was me, Lorde, this other girl, and then this other girl. Don't know their names. I'm sorry. Lorde had at his phone, and he was listening to music, and then he offered me one of his headphones. I was like, yes, of course. What was playing was one of my favorite songs. It was Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. We were just jamming out. Like, at one point, everyone was staring at us because we were like singing along. Oops. And then, oh my gosh, guess what? We got called into another room. But this time, thankfully, it was the last room before we actually go into the audition. We went through these doors, and then it was just like right there. Like that's where everyone was auditioning. So we were taken through by this person. We were all like sat down on these chairs. Like this is the wall, and then these are the chairs, and then they're like facing out where we just came from. That is when we were called to go in. So we all stood up from our chairs, and we went this way and into the audition room for High School Musical 4. You know, it's empty besides the table and the judges that are sitting there. Oh my gosh. It was like, ooh. Get this, Lorde was still in the same group as me, and we were right next to each other, and that just made me feel so much more confident and excited. We all went in order from right to left, so this little boy went, this little girl went, and then it was my turn. I stepped forward. I was very ready. Made sure to like really sell it. I stuttered in like one part, but that didn't really matter. It was like, she stuttered. Before I knew it, I had like taken a deep breath and I was done. So I stepped back and they said like really good or very good or something nice like that. Then it was Lorde's turn. I watched him step up. He did an amazing job. He had it memorized, so he like loosely did it, and it was just so unique, and I think that's exactly what they were looking for. And then the one that's really pretty went. Okay, she stepped forward. So good. So good. I was like, ah! After the whole line had went, we stepped back, and they were like, okay, so all of you are free to leave except Sequoia, Lejean, and such. I'm so sorry that I can't remember her name. They have to sign some papers that they forgot to sign or whatever. So I was like, wait, we forgot to sign papers? Like, but I turned in all my papers. Like, oh no. So everybody else left the room and we came up to the table. And then like after a split second of thinking that, I was like, oh duh, like you don't want to hurt their feelings, so I'm hoping for the best and like that they're gonna tell us good news. And they smile at us and tell us we will be moving on and getting a call back. We all freaked out and hugged each other. It was the best moment of my life. Like I had gotten told that I was good enough to move on, which is crazy. So after we have our mini celebration, they go and ask us to stand outside of the doors that we came in through and then like stand on the side because we're going to get escorted to the next place for our callbacks. When we came out, everyone was like, oh my gosh, did you get callbacks? Like what? And we weren't allowed to tell them. And we're like, oh no, we didn't. We just had to, you know, wait here because our papers need to be signed. We couldn't tell them we got callbacks, guys. A couple minutes later, after chit-chatting on the sidelines, somebody comes to escort us to go get our parents because, you know, obviously they need to come with us in order for us to move on to the next room. This is the part where I literally have a heart attack. I'm freaking out, and this is why. We go back into the room that we were just in with like all the chairs, the stage, and now I was listening to music. Do you guys remember? Okay.
What's your name?
I go back in there because that's where all the parents were supposed to stay. I'm looking for my mother everywhere. She's just not there. She's not in the seats. I'm walking up and down the aisles. I'm like, oh my gosh, where's my mother? All these parents are staring at me like,
What is this girl doing? Like, is she lost?
and I'm like, no, I just can't find my mom. It's fine. At this point, I have called her like several times. I'm texting her, I'm calling her, I'm like, please, just answer the phone. And at this point, the person who was escorting us had to, you know, take the rest of the group up to there because they couldn't wait all day for me. I finally see my mother sitting on the side of the wall, charging her phone. And I go over to her and I'm like, Mom, you have to come with me like right now. I have good news. I tell her what's happening and she's like, oh my gosh, yes. I'm like, yes. And then I'm like, okay, I have to find a person to escort me. I also had this pass that they gave us that was like, oh yeah, they get to move on because, you know, anybody can just be like, yeah, I made it, you know, to a callback. And they haven't really. Someone finally came and took us up to the next place for the callbacks. I'm beyond excited. All the people that are up there are just smiling as big as me because they got callbacks as well. Over here where the doors were like where the callbacks were happening. And we had to get scripts because we were reading from a script this time instead of like a little paragraph, which that's crazy. I got to hold an actual script of High School Musical 4 in my hand. I get the script, I go and sit on the little cushion and I start reading through it and memorizing, and I'm reading the part of a cheerleader. At this point in my life, I had like recently been a cheerleader, so I was like, yes, totally. I'm kidding. Lejean went in first, so I got to see him go in, go out. He got called back in several different times because they loved him, you know, American Idol, yes, they loved what he did. Meanwhile, while we were up there were cameras everywhere, and the cameras like started filming me at one point. The Running Man was like a dance fad at the moment, so me and Lejean were like doing that, and the cameras were like recording me, and I was like smiling, and magical. It was my turn to go into the callbacks. And this room was tiny. They opened the door for me and I smile really big and I'm like, hi. So I walk in and there's like a little place where you stand and there's microphones and a camera, and behind me is just a giant backdrop that says High School Musical. My dream come true. It was amazing. Oh, it was so good. They say, okay, whenever you're ready, you know, like, okay, so say your name, say your age. I don't know if they made me say my height, but I feel like they did. I start reading the whole thing. I feel confident. They're reading back and forth to me. It's like my dream come true. Like, I can't explain this to you enough. It was my dream to like do a cold reading and like be filmed. I finished reading and then they're like, okay, do you want to sing anything? And I'm like, sure, you know, sure, of course. So then me, being the dork that I am, I was like, how does like Breaking Free sound? Like a little snippet. And they're like, okay, that sounds great. I started singing. We're soaring, flying. There's not a star in heaven that we can't reach if we're trying, so we're breaking free. And they were like, oh, thank you so much. You're like wonderful, blah, blah, blah. And then it was over. And it was time for me to leave. And I was like, oh my gosh, that was so crazy. After waiting a little bit longer, they told us we were free to go. If we had more callbacks, we would get it in like the next week or so, I believe they said. I can't remember exactly. After that, me and LeJean said our goodbyes, and it was time for me to leave. Which was heartbreaking, to say the least. Anyhoozles, let me just wrap this up. The sad news is that I never got a call back besides that. The good news is that I met LeJean, and I got to audition for High School Musical 4, and I got a call back. I got to meet and listen to so many talented people. I got to be before High School Musical 4 directors, and they have like a video of me somewhere with my audition. So I mean, if they ever need somebody that's crazy and bubbly like me, maybe they'll look back in their files and see me and be like, hey, you know that girl Sequoia? Maybe she can do something one day.
We made it. We got callbacks. We got callbacks together, and we went through it all together. And now we're leaving after I was filmed. I was filmed, and I read this little script I can't show you, and I sang Breaking Free. So, oh my gosh, guys, High School Musical 4. Hey, I love you guys so much. I'll talk to you guys in a bit.
The High School Musical 4 story time is officially at an end. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all so much. Have a June-tastic day. Bye! I'm walking the long road. I'm watching the sky fall. The lace in your dress tangles my neck. How do I